Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
I am Scoots Bronson.
And I'm Scott Foster, and this is Viewers Anonymous, man. How we feeling today, man? You good?
Man, I'm feeling amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? Holiday weekend, 3-day work week. We just got done doing 28 minutes or less yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We back on the Viewers Anonymous. We got one more at the end of the week. Feeling good, man. Everything been going straight, bro. How about yourself?
Man, hey, I'm maintaining, man. Like, I don't have a long weekend myself. Like, we just get Thursday, but this is the first Saturday I got to pull. So, so still gonna be a 5-day work week for me. But, other than that, man, like, I appreciate you jumping on the pod with me and doing that because,
man.
you're the music guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though we had a couple of disagreements at the end, but like,
yeah,
but I really value your opinion when it comes to music because like me, I'm just really in my own zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, So I don't know like a lot of the stuff that you was able to put together. Like shit, I was just and then like I say, man, I'm stuck in my ways. Like, man, I was on the road, I was stuck in traffic, man, and I was there. Oh no, listen to this part. So you remember how I was telling you that that Isaac Hayes, Walk On By, and The Sound of Love is the two greatest intros of all time, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what the third one is.
What's that?
AC/DC Thunderstruck. I'm telling you, like the beginning of that.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Man.
I'm with you on that.
Fucking boy. And then, man, listen, I was in traffic. I was cool when that was on. But
yeah.
I really appreciate that, man, because I really value your music opinions.
Man, I value yours too, man. You got a nice ass taste in music, bro. Like it's not often that I get a chance to like talk to people who dabble in a little bit of everything as far as music goes. Like usually, you know what I'm saying, like I'm talking to somebody, they always either listen to just rap or they just listen to R&B and rap. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't listen to anything outside of that element. So like anytime I get a chance to talk to people like outside of rap and R&B, like it's always a great conversation because like I grew up listening to a lot of different stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying, my grandmother's always played the blues and, you know what I'm saying, the Motown joints, you know what I'm saying, the solid gold oldies. And then, you know what I'm saying, like my mom, she always listened to, you know what I'm saying, R&B and a little bit of hip hop. And then she always listened to, you know what I'm saying, like neo soul and funk. Then my stepdad would listen to, you know what I'm saying, rap on the West Coast, and my aunt would listen to East Coast rap. And then, you know what I'm saying, like I had people in my family who was listening to like rock and roll, like my uncle. He in the military, so anytime he would come home, he would always have like new vinyls. So like he would be listening to like AC/DC, he'd be listening to heavy metal, he'd be listening to Journey, or he'd be listening to Pink Floyd, and you know what I'm saying, like so. You know, it's just a bunch of different people around me, man, who I got my music taste from. And then not only that, like, my grandfather on my mom's side, you know what I'm saying, like, he was a musician. So, you know what I'm saying, like, he played the piano. And then, like, I got a few family members, you know what I'm saying, that's actual musicians that play instruments and, you know what I'm saying, like, been in groups and bands. And, like, when I was in high school, like, my cousin was rapping. So I was always with him, you know what I'm saying, going to studios and doing like that. My mom almost got signed to a record label when I was young. So it's just like music has always been a part of my life. So I just always dabbled in, you know what I'm saying, music here and there.
Man, that's what's up. You can tell, man. And like I love to be, well around it like that, man, because you able to, because then like the greatest thing, I was on my route one day and I don't know how we got on the subject of music, but like this lady asked me, older white lady, and she's like, what type? Because I had my earbuds in, and she's like, "What you listening to?" I was like, "I'm listening to music right now." She's like, "What you listening to? Rap?" I said, what you trying to say? I listen to rap because I'm black. And then like, so she started laughing. It's like I've been on this rap for a long time. So like, you know, we joking. And like, and I told her, I was like, I listen to a lot of music. So I got to name it like all the people that I listen to and stuff like that. Like she was, and I'm like, yo, you gotta be well rounded, man. Because what end up happening is you missed out on a lot of stuff that end up being great and you don't know it because you're so stuck on just listening to like either rap and R&B all the time. And it's like, yo, there's some other good that people could listen to that you sleeping on because you're gonna end up finding yourself because I don't know, man, like music is just one of those things. And I look at cinema the same way. That's why I'm a person who, if somebody, you know, Rotten Tomatoes come out and say, oh, well, this is a, you know, a such and such, and this is such and such, it's like, nah, you know, I'd rather go out and look for myself because I have a totally different opinion on a movie. So that's why I love doing this, man, because I'm able to get that outlet out. Because like I love, like obviously with doing 3 podcasts, I love to talk. But the thing is, a lot of the people that are around me don't want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. So a podcast man, with somebody that's into this shit like the way that you are, this shit is lovely, man.
For sure. Like, and then like the dope thing about being well rounded in music too is like listening to hip hop, listening to rap. Like you can catch certain samples. Like, you know what I'm saying? When they sample certain songs, you know what I'm saying? You the man if you know what that sample is, right? So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people see it, they be like, oh man, how you know that? And then you get to, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that's always dope about it. Like you can always hear the sample, you know what song is from, that type of shit. And then like even with the movies, like you said with Rotten Tomatoes, like I never listen to Rotten Tomatoes. Like Rotten Tomatoes has given some of the greatest movies I've watched some of the worst ratings of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like I went on Rotten Tomatoes like back in the day when you was able to watch movies on the Flickster app.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like they would have the Rotten Tomatoes ratings and stuff by it. And then I remember I had just got Dave Chappelle's Block Party. And it had like the worst, I think it was like a 23% or something like that. And I'm like, bro, this is one of the best movies ever. Like, even though it's not like a movie, it's more like a documentary type movie, but still like just the fact that it's Dave Chappelle, he having a block party, you know what I'm saying, in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying, like he got Central State, you know what I'm saying, I used to walk the campuses of Central State, so he got their band out there, like, so I'm watching this shit, I'm hyped, you know what I'm saying, he got all these performances from The Roots to Badu to Jill Scott, Dead Prez, like Talib Kweli, Mos Def, he brought the fucking Fugees back, like this is one of the greatest pieces of cinema ever, at least to me, and especially for a lot of music lovers, so to then see that and it's like 23%, it was like, man, Rotten Tomatoes can kiss it.
Man, speaking of that, man, I just saw, I seen 2 different stories, but the one, I didn't recognize the source on the second one, but the first one I saw that they took the Chappelle Show off of Netflix. Yeah. The first story said that because Dave Chappelle was like, you know, y'all ain't paying me, you know, for this type of thing. So I guess I didn't click on the story, but, you know, obviously got something money related. But the second one that I saw, and I didn't recognize the source, it said that he took it down because he didn't want nobody to watch it. I'm like, come on, that don't make sense. Like, I don't even know.
That ain't it, because remember when he was on, SNL, he said to watch it. But what happened was he wasn't receiving his residuals. It was all going to Comedy Central. And that's when he was requesting to get it taken down. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Just for me, I kind of been off of Comedy Central ever since that kind of happened. They had like a couple of dope shows that I was watching for a minute. Like, what was the one? Broad City. I think it was Broad City with the 2 chicks. And then there was another one. I forgot what it's called, but it's about like 2 dudes in like Chicago or some shit like that. That was pretty funny. So it's been a couple shows on there that's like been funny, but like after Chappelle Show went off, like I was cool, bro. I wasn't really watching Key and Peele like that. I watched the clips on YouTube, but I definitely wasn't watching it on Comedy Central. And the only time I watch Comedy Central now is like when they do the Office marathons. Other than that, it's a wrap.
Nah, I feel you, man. But yo, man, we back in the trilogy stage, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is gonna be very interesting because now we can say it since, you know, everybody see the name.
Mm-hmm.
And so we doing the Bad Boys Trilogy, and for the people who has been on day, how many of those we got, but hopefully there's a couple of them. We always talking about how we done Bad Boys for Life, and that was one of those episodes that we lost. And actually, that was the last episode that we did, and then we went on like the hiatus thing. And so we lost that episode and we never got back to it. But this time we're gonna get to that. But you know, that's the third one of the installments. So we'll go ahead and start from the very beginning. And you know, when Bad Boys came out, man, in '95, I was 10 years old, when it came out. And what a lot of people got to realize is that at the time, Martin was the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Martin was in House Party. Martin was in, Martin was able to make, like, he was never like the main guy, but like Martin had been in a couple of, movies, to catch his footing. Like Will had the Fresh Prince or whatever, but it wasn't a movie though. You know what I'm saying? So, and then
Martin had Martin.
Yeah. So, but we never really seen them as action people, and so
I think that when you say the man, like, you also got to remember, like you're saying, we never really seen him in that main character role, but you know what I'm saying, like, we've seen him in like House Parties, we've seen him in Boomerang, you know what I'm saying, like, we seen him in the TV show Martin. Then you got to remember, on top of that, he you know what I'm saying, like, his stand-ups was like some of the hottest stand-up specials at the time. You know what I'm saying, You So Crazy was the shit. Then, don't forget, he was also hosting Def Comedy Jam. And you know what I'm saying? So like he was the man, because like we seen him like in a weird way, he was kind of like the Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart. He was like everywhere.
Yeah, because like he was in Do the Right Thing, House Party.
Yeah.
He played in the short series. He was in House Party 2 and then Boomerang before Bad Boys came out. So he was, from my understanding, from hearing a couple of interviews, Martin was the one that was fighting to bring Will on. But then it kind of flipped when it came to Bad Boys of Life. It was like Will was like getting, trying to get Martin to go back and do it. Because it seems like there was kind of disconnect once after the second one. I don't think that they had problems with each other. I just think that, I don't know if Martin was just really trying to bury the damn, why can't I remember his name? Marcus Burnett thing or what? I don't really know what it was. But at the same time,
I think it was more so like just the wear and tear on their bodies, man. Because it's like, I know they probably weren't doing their stunts, but you know what I'm saying? Still, like, it was shit that they was actually doing. You know what I mean? Like, and then on top of that, like, it was so far in between, you know what I'm saying, the second and the third movie. It was like, you know what I'm saying, he probably thinking, like, do people still want to see this? You know what I'm saying? Like, do people really care? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we going, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are we going to connect the stories? Like, it was a lot of shit that he probably was looking at that was like, nah, I really ain't feeling it.
Yeah. And which is understandable, because I mean, even because the first Bad Boys come out in 95 and then Bad Boys 2 come out in 2003. So, and then out in 2019. So it's kind of huge, spread of the thing. But, I love the way that it came out the gate, man. But I would say this, that Porsche that Mike was driving, right? Backstory on that. That was actually, and that's another person. Michael Bay wasn't Michael Bay yet.
True.
So that Porsche, and so because they didn't have enough money in the budget, get Mike an expensive car. So he was just like, yo, we're going to let y'all drive the car. Because if you think about it, you really only seen the Porsche in like 2 scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the beginning and the end. And like they were saying that he was all nervous on set because he was like, y'all don't wreck my car. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my car. But like, so they're pulling up in the car and like Martin's like, yo, he was like, hey, man, where's your cup holder? He's like, I don't have one. He was like, man, you spent $1,000 on this damn car and you ain't got no cup holder. He was like, man, this car is a limited edition. He was like, it was $105,000. And I was like, he's like, yeah, you're damn right, it's limited. No cup holder, no back seat. And it's like we just driving in a what do you say? A shiny dick, and we the 2 balls sitting there. And yo, it's like for it to start off like that, like you knew you was in for shit. And then he drops the fries, and he pulls up, yo, you gonna get that fry. You know, he's like, look, man, my hand ain't gonna get down there. He's like, I come up with this shit type shit. So then the girl walked by, and then you get the scene, and then like you really start to learn. Like, I think the opening 5 minutes, we really understand what we're gonna get out of these two, because then they do the whole scene of like when my man come up, and then Martin looks at him. He's like, "Yo," he said, "Man, what are you like 350?" And he's like, "Well, I got to get the big thick motherfuckers." And so then, like they arguing with each other because he told the guy, he was like, "Yo." He said, look, he said, you said you about to have some bad news. Like, you know, y'all jacking a couple of cops right now. And so he was like, and I'm a comedian and I suck. That shit was so funny. He said that shit. And so then they start arguing with each other. And then they do that to distract the people. And then they kick them down. You know, he gave them the Western Slights Passenger 57 thing. And then the bad boys pop up. And you like, yo, I already tell they've been partners for a while. They're energetic. They're going to be joking around. And then, like, they use distractions to, you know what I'm saying, to maneuver around the situation. And, like, I could tell, like, from the opening 5 minutes, you could tell, like, yo, we in for a ride, yo.
I think that, you know what I'm saying, around this time, man, 1995, this was before, this was before Independence Day, right? Or after?
This was, let me see. Because I think Independence Day came out after, if I'm not mistaken. I think
so.
I think Independence Day was after.
Yeah, okay. So this is before Independence Day. And then I'm trying to think, was this? Okay. So yeah, like this is basically Will Smith's entry into box office hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to think. I don't think he did one before this. I think this was like the first one. So him being with, you know what I'm saying, Martin, which is basically, you know what I'm saying, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood at the time. 1995, you know what I'm saying, like, they both have long history careers. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith started off as a rapper, becomes an actor. He's been in, you know what I'm saying, like a couple great roles. He got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I'm saying? Martin is stand-up comedian who, you know what I'm saying, was an actor as well. Been in a bunch of great movies, classic movies, and then also has, you know what I'm saying, probably the hit TV show. And at the time, his TV show was on Fox. And this is very important because Fox had this block where they had Martin. Well, I'm not sure if it was, I don't remember if it was on the same night, but I know they had Martin, they had In Living Color, and then they had like I think like In Living Single. They had Living Single, they had In Living Color, they had Martin. It was another show that they had too, but it was like the first time you seen black TV shows in prime time. And this is on Fox. This is a major network. And so you know what I'm saying, like he's leading and he's getting hella ratings and he's going neck and neck with Living Color. In Living Color. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the time where he's becoming like a superstar. And like I said, he's like the Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart. Like he's literally everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Boomerang, Do the Right Thing, and all these other different movies. Then he comes out with You So Crazy. And this is one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. Like if you go back and listen to You So Crazy, like you'll understand like how dope he was at stand-up. And then on top of that, he's hosting Def Comedy Jam, which some of the greatest, you know what I'm saying, some of the greatest comics have been there. And then, you know what I'm saying, like this is the all-time spot to get comedy. And, you know what I'm saying, like Comic View is kind of on the come up, but it's not even close to to Def Comedy Jam. And then he's the host of that. So you constantly seeing his face there. And then, boom, we get Bad Boys. We get this movie that he's in with Will Smith, who is, his TV show was on, what was it, ABC? No, his TV show was on NBC, right? And so we get the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air being on NBC with Boy Meets World, with Saved by the Bell and all these other different shows that's getting like all these ratings. But these are white shows. These ain't black shows like how Martin is, but they get neck and neck ratings and shit like that. So these are two guys who are like damn near at the top of their game or damn near in their prime, and you putting them in this movie that nobody's ever seen these two in a movie before. Nobody's ever seen all of this cast in the movie before. And then you get this like magical moment to where you could see them feeding off each other in the movie. You could see them, you know what I'm saying? Like you could see them playing off of each other in the movie. Like my favorite scene, probably everybody's favorite scene though, is when they got to switch up and Mike got to go to Marcus's house and Marcus got to live as Mike to protect the girl. So you know what I'm saying? He in the car practicing. He like, I'm Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry. So he you know what I'm saying, he practicing that the whole time. But it's just, you know what I'm saying, like you could see like just the fun that you could tell just like the fun that they had making that movie. It was just every moment of it, bro, was like it's either action or you laughing. It's either you amazed or you just laughing. And to me, it was just like one of those movies that just, I don't know, bro. It just showed you just like the best of you know what I'm saying, what could happen when you bring two all-stars together.
Oh, for sure, man. Like, and I love when they switched too. And one of my favorite scenes was when they went to see Captain Howard. Well, really, it all started after they seen Maxine dead in the suite or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so the next day, you know, Mike went to go see the Madam Lady, and then come to find out, you know, that dude had already been there, killed that lady. Mm-hmm. And so with a sledgehammer. And so Marcus been trying to call him all day and couldn't get him. And so he shows up in the cab. And so he's talking to him. And he was like, man, he's like, you don't know what I've been through last night, because he went to go see Julie and he took his ring off. Yeah. And his wife got mad at him because he took his ring off. He was like, I got it. It's in my pocket. You know, I was undercover and all this type of stuff. So he had to sleep on the couch. And so he like telling him, like, you don't know what I went through last night. He was like, man, I'm about to get kicked out of a happy home and all this type of stuff. He was like, I had to wake up with a Power Ranger stuck up my ass and all this stuff. And Mike is like, you know, I appreciate you asking me how I'm doing. So they go see Captain Howard. And so Captain Howard was shooting mad air balls. Like, but he was making them out before they got there. Mm-hmm. And then he tells him like, yo, he tells him that I got the girl, but I left him at her place. He was like, man, are you really trying to kill this case? And he was like, yo, I had to pass the damn pop quiz for her to even know it was me. And like, yo, like what's going on? And then and so then he tells him, he's like, where she's at now? He's like, his place. He was like, man, you left a hooker in my house? He's like, the girl's not a hooker, as far as I know. He said, I left her and the dog, Luke and Dookie. And so then he's like, so you left a hooker and two dogs in my house. And he was like, you know, let's do this. And so then Captain Howard was like, you're you and you're him. you be him and her and all this stuff. So I'm like, yo, this shit is hilarious. And so Mike's like designated homeless or whatever. And so then, I thought that scene was so fucking funny, dude. Cause it's like, cause Captain Howard, I would say like that dude, Joe, how was his name? I forget I can't pronounce the last name, but that dude, like the greatest captain of anything. Like of any TV drama, any TV comedy, any person that plays a captain, he's the best ever, man. Like he is so funny, and like for him to be in between two stars and also be just as funny as they are, in scenes like that dude he's a really, really, really good actor, man.
Yeah, I think it's just a testament of not just, you know what I'm saying, like just how funny each other actor was in this movie. It's just how funny Mike and I'm about to call him Mike and Martin. Martin and Will was. Like just the fact that they were so funny in themselves, like I think it made it easier for everybody else to kind of be funny, like, because I don't know if like a lot of people remember, but John Sally was in these movies.
Oh yeah.
And John Sally you know what I'm saying, like he's a ex-basketball player. Well, he like what, 6'10", 6'11", and him playing the nerd dude that could break in and shit with the glasses and everything, like just the fact that he had on the glasses in the handcuffs typing and shit, and he was talking to Martin the whole time, like that interaction was just funny as hell. Like they just made it so much, you could tell they made it so much easier for everybody else to be funny. Like the fact that it felt like, you know, it seemed like a weight was taken off of everybody else's shoulders, especially when they had to do those comedic parts, because they knew, like, even if I'm not funny, they're going to be funny. So whatever they do is basically, I'm going to get the residual of it. So I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to see how it lands. And I mean, like, every time they did it, it landed.
Oh yeah, man. And then like basically like the like in the what it was, there was a guy who was he was presumed to be dead. And like basically Mike and Marcus had a huge bust. Dude Eddie was able to get them on the inside. He was a former cop, was able to get on the inside, steal the drugs that he got busted on. And so the whole thing was they had to solve this case in 48 hours. It was either 48 or 72, I can't remember. And so they had to basically rebust the drugs that they already busted. Yeah. And so throughout the whole film, with all the comedic stuff in it, like the storyline was basically, y'all got this amount of time to get the drugs back. And then, so they had to start from the bottom and try to figure out, like, how are we going to find this dude? Like, okay, well, the thing we got to do, the drugs got to get cut. We got to go see JoJo the Tired Man because he's famous. And so that's basically, they would use JoJo for the guy that would, you know, he just hears things. Like being a guy in that line of work, you know, now he's trying to make himself seem like, yo, I'm out of that business. I'm in the rubber now and all this type of stuff. And so then they're like, all right, well, the next thing we got to do, next lead is who made the blueprints to this police station. Go to see him. He's dead. So they thinking that it's over. So then the witness calls because they didn't know. They knew they had a witness. They just didn't know the witness was going to call them. Yeah. I only did with Mike because Max, if she got into any trouble, she would only deal with Mike. So he gets witness. And so then they use her to try to ID somebody. She ended up IDing the guy, finding out the guy working at Club Hell to go to Club Hell. And then that's when they kind of put everything together. And then they figure out who it is, and they basically like solve the case. Now there's a lot of other shit that happened, but you know, just for Bad Boys. But then, you know, when I heard that Bad Boys 2 was coming out, I was like, yo, I've been waiting on this movie forever. It felt like because it was like you have a movie that had the success that movie had. And then you take 8 years to finally come out with another one. So it was, for me, man, it was a huge relief because I felt like those two dudes together, and then with Will, because really both of them, they cachets went up after this movie, both of them, because
yeah, kind of.
The reason I say that because they wasn't really like the people that carried film.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, right after this, Martin did A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. So
he did Blue Streak and all the rest of them too. Yeah.
So that was like his first, like, right after Bad Boys, everybody see, this dude can carry a film. Mm-hmm. And so their careers really took off, and not even just them, but even Michael Bay took off after this point. So Bad Boys 2 come around. The only thing, and I know that you said that you had a problem with was For Life. I don't know what it is yet because we haven't talked about it. But one of my griefs about Bad Boys 2 is the fact of Mark has only got one kid all of a sudden. But in Bad Boys 1, he had 4. He had 2 girls and 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
You only see one girl. And it's like, okay, that's a little strange. But I like how they was able to, patience into this one. And then you could tell that there was a bigger budget with this one because like the interstate scene and then even Captain Howard was like, he's this many cars in a boat. He said, how did you sink a boat? And he was like, and then like they had went through therapy. And so he was trying not to cuss. So he was like, fricks. And I was like, I thought that joke was so funny. But it was just like the chemistry between those two. Like, what took y'all so long? Because I felt like Bad Boys could have been, I'm trying to think of another, I can't think of that offhand, but I was really happy when I seen that Bad Boys 2 was coming out. And like my thing is, a lot of people that I've spoken to when it comes down to Bad Boys, a lot of people like Bad Boys 2 better than 1. I'm still the guy.
Yeah.
I kind of like Bad Boys 1 a little better than Bad Boys 2. My personal opinion. But I think it could also be one of those element of surprise type of things as well. I just felt that was more funnier and it felt more, I put it this way, they felt more hungry in 1 than 2. And if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me, I'm one of those people that think 2 is the best out of all 3 movies. The cast in this movie was super fire. You know what I'm saying? You had Gabrielle Union. You had a lot of you had people returning from the original cast. You know what I'm saying? John Sally is back in this one. You had the 2 editions of the Cuban American co-workers that they had. I forgot what the actors' names were. But what's more interesting about number 2 and why I say that number 2 is my favorite is because you had said that they both were at the pinnacle, right? Mm-hmm. What we forget is there was a slight moment in time where Martin Lawrence was on a downslide. So, he had all of these movies that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He had like Black Knight. He had Thin Line Between Love and Hate. He had, I think Blue Streak came out. National Security came out that same year that Bad Boys 2 did. Like, so it was a lot of stuff he was working on and doing, but we forget that it was a moment in time where he had got hospitalized for doing drugs. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in this little mode where, like, he was getting into trouble and all this other stuff. And so before he did Bad Boys 2, he did a stand-up special called Run Tell That. One of the most legendary specials of all time. And so he kind of addressed everything that was going on with, in his life and, like all of this. So, Will was basically on that incline where he was just shooting up. He was doing like Wild Wild West, and he was doing Independence Day, and like he was doing blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster. And Martin, not so much. So finally, when they get back, or when Martin gets back to himself, and he get back to where he's supposed to be, they do Bad Boys 2, and this is like, for me, this is like where Martin put on like a showcase. So, like they in Miami, we get introduced to Marcus's sister, we find out that Mike and Marcus's sister got some kind of, love, like secret love quarrel or whatever. They get into it with some Haitians. They trying to figure out what's going on, and come to find out it ain't the Haitians, it's the Cubans, because now they got to find Johnny Tapia. So it's like, some Russians is involved. So this is going to be probably one of the most action-packed movies that we've ever seen. Not only on top of that, we get to see Martin like really showcase his comedic skills. So like one of my favorite parts in the movie is when Martin had to, take some water because they found they snuck into the morgue and they found the drugs in the dead body. And like they looking around for him or whatever, and then the people about to come in, so he hide under the one with the lady with the big titty. So he was like, Mike, like, man, don't get in that one, don't get in that one. Like he going back and forth with him, and then he looking, he laying next to a dead lady with big ass titty, and then they finally, stop everything because the dudes crashed the ambulance into the car, and then he go, he get out, they go back looking, and then when they go looking, he pulled the top of the dude's head off, and he started throwing up, and then Mike over there like, man, don't. He was like, don't do it, man. He was like, you acting up. He was like, you showing out. Stop it. And then he throw up. And then he like, man, I need to get some water. So before that, he throw the drugs to him, the ecstasy fall into the cup. He ain't paying attention. He swallowed 2 ecstasy pills. He get in, everything gets said and done, they leave. He in the back seat, feeling on the seat, like, man, this seat feels so good. And then when they got to go to the captain's house, he rubbing on Mike's back. He like, man, he was like, your back feels so nice. And then Mike like, stop, man. He was like, come on, man, straight up for real. This business. He like, okay. And then he started rubbing his back again. He was like, hey, man. He was like, then he looked at him, he flashed the flashlight in his eye. He like, man, you on some shit? He was like, nah, man, what you talking about? I ain't on nothing. And then they get in there or whatever. He acting all funny. He like, man, Captain, your house got a nice feng shui, feng wei. He was like, feng shui. Feng shui. Yeah, that's the word. Feng shui. Then this motherfucker come, he drinking the motherfucker water with the flowers in it at the base and shit. Like, to me, that was like, that was a comedy clinic. Like, the fact that he can go from all of those different, like all of those different moments, and then just all in that one little piece of scene. Like, to me, I thought that shit was magnificent for him to be able to do that. And then like you got to see Gabrielle Union in a different light. Like, we've never seen her, like be in an action movie. We always seen her be like, the love interest in a dance movie, or she was in Bring It On. She was like, the rival cheerleader and shit like that. And so we finally got a chance to see her do like some action things and get into, like a different realm. And then, this one wasn't, to me, I felt like wasn't more so focused on Will Smith. I feel like it was more so catered to focus more so like on Marcus, because it dealt with his family. Like we seen the scene where they go to the door and they open the door, the little dude was like Kawhi Leonard. He like, how old are you? He like, I'm 16. Motherfucker, you look 30. Like, they talk about breaking up in this movie and, not doing it again. So it's just like, this was one of the things to where, like we kind of got into a little bit about both of them in that first one, but this one, it was more so, I feel like, catered towards Marcus.
It did because it really centered in on his family. Then you bring in the sister, which now she got a spinoff TV show now on Fox, where she is a cop, but she's out in LA, but she's Marcus's sister in the show. I don't watch it. I just seen the cameo.
Oh, this is a real thing?
Yeah. It's on her and Jessica Alba are partners.
Oh shit.
Sydney Barnett, yeah. So yeah, that's a real thing. So they was able to take Bad Boys 2 and do a whole spinoff TV show with her being a cop out in LA. And but yeah, like I see what you're saying. Like that was really one of the most funniest scenes. And because like my favorite part, like when you didn't say the one part that I love when he when he shined the light in his eyes, he was like, man, look at your nipples. He looked up, I'm gonna look at my
Hey man.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
That shit was fucking comedy, bro.
It was, but the thing is, also, like with the first one, they did more with less. Like the first one, they had a $15 million budget. Mm-hmm. This had $130 million.
Yeah.
So, yes, so we got more, flashing inside of Mike. We got, a couple of badass cars from Mike. Mm-hmm. And even in the car, it just like this one had a different feel to it. And then, like you said, the one thing about this one that was totally different from the first one was Marcus is no, the other one he's all about retirement, but this one he's more about breaking up with Mike because he's like, yo, we always getting in gunfights with situations that we don't have to get in gunfights because he had the worst out of all of them. And we'll get into it more when we get to Bad Boys for Life. But you got to remember, Marcus got shot in the leg in the first one.
He got shot in the ass too.
Yeah, but Mike got shot in the first one, but it was a bullet. He had a vest on. So Mike really haven't, you know what I'm saying? So then, like you said, in the second one, now Marcus gets shot in the ass. And he's like, yo, I'm taking all these bullets. You ain't taking shit. So he's like, I need to get with somebody that's you know what I'm saying, that's more calmer, that we can actually, like you said, he was going into therapy. So he's really trying to chill with the gunfights. But what's his name? Trigger Mike. Mike. So he's more like, yo, I want to chill. So you really see this whole thing of yo, I'm gonna have to tell Mike, I'm gonna have to try to do this. And then Mike is keeping a secret from him by seeing his sister after he went up on a trip to New York and all this type shit. So you got this secretive stuff going on. They trying to solve this case with Johnny Tapia and all this type of stuff. So they dealing with Johnny Tapia, and then they using the damn Haitians to fucking, you know what I'm saying, to try to figure out this whole, because they basically getting their supply from Johnny Tapia, basically thing. And then I also like how John Sally he was the criminal with the thick glasses on. And it's so funny because you didn't mention this part when they were sitting there asking him to look up the thing, because they were trying to break into Eddie Domingo, or whatever his name was. They were trying to look up his file. And the girlfriend she knew what the password was, but she knew that they was gonna say that they was girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And so anyway, so Marcus is like, yo, man, you need to hurry up. He was like, look, man, I'm doing an illegal favor for you. So he stood up. He was like, man, if you don't sit your punk ass down, he said, get out of you. And then he asked Mike for some tickets. No, that was the second one. But and so then he's like, you supposed to be the computer with and all this type of shit. And then in the second one, he actually worked for the police now. They're asking him to do another illegal favor. And then he asking Mike, yo, I want some tickets to the Heat game. And then he was like, all right. He was like, man, what you need floor seats for? He said, the thick ass glasses. You can see the game from the parking lot. It just sounded like, man,
see, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like you get to see the comedic genius of Martin in this fucking movie, bro. Like he has so many fucking moments in this movie. Like when he had the donut, he had to sit down on the donut and shit at the table. That shit was funny as fuck. The fucking pool shit when they kept trying to fix the pool and everything like that. That shit was funny as fuck. The fucking what was the other one? Oh yeah, when he met when he met the daughter boyfriend for the first time. That shit was funny as hell. The scene where they was in the morgue, the scene, you know what I'm saying, where they went to go see the captain. Like, bro, it's so many fucking moments in this movie. Oh, when they went to go see the Haitians and they got into the shootout with the Haitians and he's sitting by the toilet seat and they shooting at him and all the stuff flying up and getting in his hair and shit. And he ain't shooting. He like, we just want to talk. He was like, why y'all had to start this shit? He was like, why we had to go through all this? He was like, all we wanted to do was talk to y'all. That shit was funny as a motherfucker, man.
It was.
I'm telling you, Martin showed his ass in this one.
It was, but one of my favorite scenes in the first one is when Julie needed some damn shampoo. So they go into the convenience store, and so they're talking, and he's like, yo, what about JoJo? And they was like, he is a chemist. He was like, man, there's way too much drugs for, a former chemist not to know nothing. So Julie's looking for, shampoo and all this stuff, and she's complaining about how it's animal tests and all this shit. And so the store clerk see that they got guns. So he pulls out the gun, freeze, mother bitches. And then they were like, look, he's like, slow down. Like, dude, I'm going to show you my badge. He's like, you want badges? You want badges, mother bitch? So I threw the badges. He's like, I'll show you one. It was so funny when Julie, because they started arguing with each other. And they did the same thing that they did in the very first scene. And so then a man lost focus because Julie started to walk out. He was like, freeze, bitch. And then they both pulled their guns out. No, you freeze, bitch. He was like, back up. He said, give me a pack of tropical punch bubblicious. And Martin said, Skittles.
Man, this shit it just go to show you, bro, like just when two powerhouses come together, bro, you really can't fucking miss. So this is what, 2003. So this is, like I said, this is around the time like Will Smith was, getting to the point to where he kept getting those nonstop box office hits. He was just nonstop. Every summer you knew he was coming with something. Every summer he had something coming. And then, we see Martin kind of go on the decline, but then he kind of get that like redemption. And for me, I felt like Bad Boys 2 was kind of 2003 for real. But Bad Boys 2 was like his redemption. Like 2003 for me was just his redemption year. Like, he did Run Tell That in 2002. And then, like that was, once again, legendary special as far as stand-up goes. And then he did National Security. He did Bad Boys 2 in 2003. And those, like, hit. So, like, this was just one of those things that, and for me, that was the reason that I think Bad Boys 2 is one of my favorites.
I would say this, though, because I don't think, like, this is the thing with Martin, right? I think it was after Bad Boys 2, and this is why I say this, like what you're saying. Because, like I said, he in line between love and that, and hate, right? Martin ends in 97, and he does Nothing to Lose. Nothing to Lose. That movie was
great movie. Please Don't Kill Me, Freaky Jason. Yeah, that's my shit.
That was hilarious. Life with Eddie Murphy in 99.
True.
Okay, so then same year he come out with Blue Street. Now, I see what you're saying by a certain degree, because really after that, Big Mama House, I never really liked any other Big Mama House.
But that was a hit. That was a major hit, though.
Yeah, but see, it was a hit commercial-wise, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Personally, but it was a hit, though. And then he does the one joint with Danny DeVito, what's the worst that can happen? And then he does
That was a good one, too.
And Black Knight was...
That was a good movie, man.
it had its moments, but but then like
that was a good movie, man.
National Security came out the same year Bad Boys 3 did.
Right,
So,
but listen, 2002, you forgetting he was still doing stand-up. 2002, he came out with Run Tell That. And if you ever watched Run Tell That, he tells the story about how he was, shit was happening, and the fame got to him because he was out, I forgot what street it was, but he was in the middle of the street with a gun talking about they gonna get me. And he talked about the story of that. He talked about how when he was in the hospital, he was recovering and the nurse was taking care. He got the joke about the nurse taking care of him. And, she like, oh, I love you, Martin. We do anything for you, Marty. We do anything for you. And then he said, she came in and she wiped my ass. I felt like a baby. He said, and then around 2-3 weeks, I hit the button and she just got sick of the shit. She was like, I'm sick of your shit. You a grown ass man. When you gonna start walking again? When you gonna get back on your shit? You can wipe your own ass. Martin. They should call you Shitty Martin. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like go watch Run Tell That and you will see what I'm talking about. Like that, it was a small part in time where he was like on the decline. Like he was in the news for some for a whole bunch of different shit. I think he was like facing some charges for some shit. Like it was a bunch of shit that was going on in his life around that time. So like when 2002, 2003 came along, like that's when, he started to get that redemption, starting off with Run Tell That, and then, National Security, and then, Bad Boys 2, and then there was like a couple other movies in between, around that time as well. And then like that's when you started to see him like come back and kind of do his thing. So I think him doing Bad Boys 2, especially with it being, at that same level that Big Mama's house was, like he got back to that, he got back to that top spot. And he kind of, kind of felt that. And then, he been doing what he been doing ever since.
Is it like with Will, it's kind of interesting because Independence Day come out in 96. So that's the first movie he does after Batman. And if you think about it, he was really a co-star in Independence Day. As far as running time, he really was only in it for like 30 minutes. So that was very interesting to be coming off of Bad Boys, and he's like more of a co-star with that. So then he starts his franchise with Man in Black. And then Man in Black in 97. And then
he co-star in that too.
Yeah, because it's really about Tommy Lee Jones, really. But then one of my favorite movies, and he's kind of back to like that action guy, kind of sort of with Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State was like, you just got to be.
It was a great movie.
But I'm glad you liked it because I thought it was good. But then he fucked up with Wild Wild West.
Oh, wait a minute. He did not fuck up with Wild Wild West. Was a decent movie.
This is the reason why I say, I wish I could remember. He turned down something in 99 that would have been a smash, but he turned it down to do Wild Wild West. So a lot of people, because they say that was his work at the time. That was the worst, like he did like opening week type of thing. So
True.
And then he does The Legend of Badger Vance, and then he does Ali. And Ali kind of put him back up again. Then he does
Ali solidified him. Ali was like, that was the one. That was the one he needed.
And then he does Men in Black 2, and Bad Boys 2 come out again. And then it kind of, tails off really when it comes to Will. But this is, okay, so the third one, which, man, we did, I felt like we did a great podcast at the time. And this is what's interesting to me. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm going right out the gate. Why I'm gonna tell you why I love the third one.
Okay.
The main thing that I loved about the third one was when they did the whole club scene, right? They chased down Marcus's old basketball player. It was so funny because he was like, yo, he said, that's what's his name? He was like, man, I benched him. And he was like, because he called me an asshole. And he was like, well, did y'all win the championship? He was like, hell no. He said, man, we lost by 40. He said, my football. So anyway, to get back to it, they had got my dude's phone. a lot of shit happened before then, but to get to the point was he texted this phrase that he used to say to this one girl. And so the text came back, says, "Hola, Mike." And so he got to looking through the files and seeing that the girl from his very first case, when they pulled him out of the academy and put him straight on the cover. And so what I loved was when he was talking to Marcus and telling him, "Yo, that dude is my son." He's like, "Yo, what are you talking about?" And I first graduated the academy. I first out of the academy. They pulled me to the side. They didn't know who I was. I didn't really have a file. And they put me on the cover with this guy. And I was a driver. We fell in love with each other. We was going to run away together and all this type shit. He was like, then DEA, FBI, everybody got involved. And he couldn't get her out. So she ended up going to jail. And then he looked at the years and this type stuff, and he was like, "Yo, that boy," he was like, "he's crazy like me. He, you know what I'm saying, he's wild me out of shit." And he got to explaining like, "Yo, she taught me the whole game. She taught me how to dress like it. She taught me how to walk like it." And he says, she created Mike Lowry. I was like, and then Mark, it was so funny because Mark was like, he was like, "Now that makes sense." He said, "Now they explain why you dress like a drug dealer." and then he's like, man, and like it was a serious moment, but like he still found a way to throw a joke in there. He was like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to test all this stuff." And the reason I say really good, like that part made it good because we always got Marcus's backstory, always got family. We always got, the stuff with his wife and all of this stuff. When it came to Mike, all we knew that he was a trust fund kid. We didn't know nothing about Mike. Like throughout the whole thing, we never talked about Mike's parents. We don't know if Mike's parents are dead. We don't know if Mike got any brothers or sisters. We don't know shit about Mike. But with that one scene of him explaining, him coming out of the academy and then falling in love, because Mike was like, he's like, "That's why I'm not married." He was like, because at that time, I chose the badge over a woman, and I've been choosing the badge every day. So it really explained the whole essence of Mike, why he never got married, why he never settled down, why he's so flamboyant, why he dresses the way he dressed. I felt like just that scene there finally gave us something on Mike Lowry.
Okay, so this is the way I felt too when I had first seen the movie. I felt the same way you felt. I'm like, man, we finally getting a chance to, really see who Mike is and what Mike is about. You know what I'm saying? What he went through, that type of shit, right? Then I went back and watched the second one, and then watched the third one again, and that's when my beef came up. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like the third one. Let me start there. I think that all three of the movies are great. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's a great trilogy. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love Martin. I keep saying, I don't know why I want to keep saying Martin and Malcolm. Martin and Will, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love seeing them two on screen together, man, especially, you know what I'm saying, after it's been so long. This is something that started in 95. And then, you know what I'm saying, it went 14 years later, and we still got these two, you know what I'm saying, doing something on screen. So, you know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean, that they've been at the top of their game. They've been, you know what I'm saying, at the pinnacle of success. And now we get them just, you know what I'm saying, like bringing all of this back. But one thing that stood out to me in the second film was Mike opened up a book, and it was like, I believe it was a high school yearbook, right? And the writing on it or whatever was like something ride or die, you know what I'm saying, whatever, bad boys for life, right? So this is giving me an assumption that these dudes been knowing each other damn near forever, right? So that means to me that Marcus been knowing Mike forever. Like, these dudes grew up together basically, you know what I'm saying? They went into the academy together, became friends. I mean, they became partners and all this other stuff. So coming into this new movie, seeing how like we talking about something now that now we don't like Marcus. This is something that Marcus don't know shit about. Now I can see if it was like he was like, remember, man, you know what I'm saying? Once I left the academy, you know what I'm saying, I had to go do something. Or, you know what I'm saying, like they put me in a different, you know what I'm saying, what's the name? So this was just like, it seemed like they just didn't know each other until they became partners in this third one. And then not only that, like we don't see none of Marcus's sons. We only see his daughter. We don't know like what's going on with his sons. Like, cause we seen the sons in the second one. You know what I'm saying? They was all sitting at the table, all eating and, you know what I'm saying, having a family meal. Then on his third one, his sons are nowhere to be found. He don't even mention his sons.
Well, okay. I will say that they're grown now because I think Megan, if you remember in the first one when Mike came over and he was holding the baby, remember there was a baby and there was a toddler little girl and then there was two boys. So I'm thinking that the one that got married in the third one is the infant that he was holding. So I think the other ones are just older and they're just, you know.
I know, I'm just saying, but like it was just no mention of them. Like we ain't see no family pictures, no none of this shit, right? So that was another thing that fucked me up. And then not only that, like we don't get no backstory on how they ended up getting getting the team. We don't get no backstory on how, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we kind of got like a little bit of backstory from Mike explaining everything, but we really didn't get too much from Mike explaining anything. Like, and then at the end, like it's this thing that, you know what I'm saying, he got a son now, and then, you know what I'm saying, like now his son is gonna be, you know what I'm saying, like teamed up, and then like he got this love interest with one of the teammates. Like, I mean, it was just so much shit that was unexplained. You know what I'm saying? Like the captain dies, and then now, you know what I'm saying, like all this other shit happens, and then the one chick that he in love with ends up becoming like the captain or some shit like that. Like it was just so much that was just left like open. It was just too many, you know what I'm saying, like loose ends in this movie for me to be like, okay, this movie was, you know what I'm saying, the shit, like how everybody's trying to make it seem like. And it was just like, if they did a little bit more explaining, then I kind of would have felt different.
Okay, so to your first point of the yearbook thing, could have been a situation, okay, they was tight in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go, and because remember, Mike said before we was partners.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it could have been a situation where they graduated.
Right.
Even if maybe Mike went to be a cop first and Marcus came later. Like we don't know.
I thought about that.
Even if let's say they went in at the same time, they got assigned to do two different parts.
True.
And then you gotta think there was no cell phones
right
back then. So maybe Mike went undercover, all that shit happened, bust happened, Mike was just like, I'm not gonna talk about this shit anymore.
Yeah.
And it could have been a whole thing of like, you know, he just seeing like, yo, you was this, because maybe Marcus could have looked at it like, when we was in high school, you had these braces, you was the the skinny kid that everybody picked on, and you had money, and now all of a sudden you get some muscles, and now, you know what I'm saying, you get the braces off, and now you just flashy, and like maybe he could have been thinking, well, you making up for all of the years that you wasn't, and now
okay, that's what you're saying.
You're the man, and maybe he just asked him like what happened. So maybe he just never said anything. I think there's a whole bunch of different scenarios, and as far as the team, that wasn't his team, because you got to remember they was partners, and so they did. Marcus, they were celebrating Marcus's birthday. Well, not Marcus' birthday, Marcus's grandbaby. So they're celebrating the grandbaby, and then the girl comes up, and then, you know, he kept calling Mike a dumbass. Now, the one thing I did, at first I didn't like it, but then once I heard someone talking about it, I appreciated it more. Mike would say all of these lines like he was young still.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh man, you can miss me with that. And you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'm about to turn up and all this shit. And it was so Marcus, because Marcus was like, turn up. He was like, man, you need to turn down. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like he would say all of these terms like he's young.
Yeah.
And like Marcus is trying to tell him like throughout the film, like, yo, you old. And then like, even at the bar, he was like, dude, you using like Black Midnight or whatever, some shit, because he was dyeing his beard. And he's like, I ain't my beard. He's like, yes, you are. And like that whole little dynamic of like Marcus trying to get him to embrace, like, dude, like you're getting old. Stop talking. Stop acting like. Oh. But anyway, so he called him a dumbass because they had a relationship, but they ended up breaking up. And she had put a team together. And then the only reason that they ended up teaming up was because, remember, after Bulletproof Mike finally got shot, she went over to see Mike, and Mike was, you know, trying to beef up because Mike wanted to go get the people that shot him, or at least find the people. And remember, Marcus had retired. Yeah. So I'm going to go do this on my own. And then that's when we get the great Khaled cameo when he goes, Khaled did a great job. Like, it was 5 minutes, but Khaled did a great job. And so then he goes and tell the captain he figured out who is the person that deals these special bullets that they was looking for or whatever. And so he's like, yo, go work with ammo. Remember? Because you're going to do this shit on your own, so I might as well put you with somebody who can watch over you. So that's how I ended up getting with the team, because he do the shit rogue. But
okay.
He was like,
now
so
it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. So I like what I really liked about it was their relationship was really really on the rocks. Like then like that made me think of like just now, like I remember, you see, we didn't really get like part one type of shit anymore. Like I remember like in part one, right? When they left of hell and they jumped in that damn ice cream truck looking thing. And so they're riding down the road, and then Marky's like, yo, what am I smelling? Julie looks back, it's like ether. He said, extremely flammable ether. And then Mike is like, damn. And then Mike is like, oh yeah, you really did it this time, didn't you? We're driving a damn bomb, right? And so then they roll. And then what I loved about the script was, so Mike fucked up, right? Like picked up. So then Marcus turns down the road when they had to run out the road. And then he was like, yo, you better think of something or running down the road. And this motherfucker got in his ear, who picked this dumbass road? You running out of it. And I thought that was so fucking funny. Like, we didn't get like that type of stuff anymore. It was more of their relationship. It's like really now, like their relationship started being rocky in the second one. Now, even though he ended up staying on the force simply because they saved his sister at the end. So he gave Mike some more years, but he's like, now, he's like, look, man, I've been shot 2 times. I had to save my sister. I got a grandbaby. I'm really trying to, and like with something personal coming up in Mike's life, he felt obligated to help Mike, to join the force, because Mike, even though his sister was his love interest at the time, but it still was his sister. He was like, Mike rolled to go get my sister, and I'm going to roll with him to go get his son, which gives us one of those very funny Martin scenes again. Because when they got playing, and that mother was like, oh, what'd he say? He said, Spencer, what you gonna do when you see your son? He's like, I'm gonna put a hole in him. And he was like, and I'm gonna put him in a body bag. And then one guy looked at him, and then he gets up and he was like, man, he's like, why would you fuck a witch without a condom, man? I was like, that shit was so fucking funny. And like, but to me, the only loose ends that I found was like now with me talking, I think that Marcus' kids are just so much older that they just got their own life.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason they keep going back to this one daughter is because I think that one daughter is the one baby that he was holding in the first one. So it seems that she seems to be the youngest. I do hate how they never bring up any of his other kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the
Well, see, I thought it was the girl that the boyfriend came to the door.
It is. I'm talking about part one. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because remember part one when him and his wife woke up, and that's
so that she's just like a reoccurring theme in the movies. Then, so like it's basically just go from her being a baby to her being a teenager to her being an adult and being married.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now, what I did like about this movie was the fact that they showed them maturing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they showed it in one aspect of where Martin is coming to terms with it. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we getting old. We getting too old for this shit. He like in this Danny Glover thing, like where it's like I'm too old for this shit. And then you got, you know what I'm saying, Will, who he fighting it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he dyeing his beard. He's still trying to be cool and hip. He's still trying to be out and about and be the man. Hold on. I thought that dynamic was up.
I want to compliment you on that, but that is a great fucking comparison, dude. Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then, I just wanted to compliment you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, think about that, brother.
My mind.
But I mean, yeah, like that's what you know. What I'm saying, like that's what it kind of reminds you of. Like he kind of give you that Danny Glover shit. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck am I still doing this shit? But then it's like, you know what I'm saying? You can tell like that's a regular relationship between, you know what I'm saying? It don't even got to be two cops. It could just be between, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like just two friends, like, you know what I mean? Just one dude who like, man, you know what I'm saying? We too old to be going out to the club. We too old to be doing shit. And then there's that one friend who just can't let it go. He just got to be, you know what I'm saying? Like he's still dressing like, you know what I'm saying? He 20. He's still wearing his hat backwards like he's 20. You know what I'm saying? Or like he fucking in his teens when it's like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not you anymore. Like let it go, man. You can't wear, you know what I'm saying, Coogee no more. Coogee is dead. Stop wearing shit like that. Like we all got that one friend who is stuck in that one time period where he was just a cool guy and can't let it go. And so like that's like just the kind of dynamic you kind of see on the screen. And then you also, you know what I'm saying, like you see them having to deal with everything without the captain this time. Because to me, the captain was like their mentor. He was like their go-to guy. So now that he's dead and he's not there, you have to kind of see them deal with everything without that, you know what I'm saying, like without that, I'm trying to think, without that security blanket, you know what I'm saying, without that extra brain. So now they, you know what I'm saying, like they got to go to somebody new and have to deal with all this other shit. And then, you know what I'm saying, the last thing is seeing them basically, you know, wrap up a story. Like I said, in the beginning, you kind of got a little bit of both of them. In the second one, you got Marcus. And then in the end, you got Mike. So, you know what I'm saying, you kind of got to learn, you know what I'm saying, a tad little bit about Mike that, you know what I'm saying, we never knew like you said, we never knew anything about him. So now in this one kind of focuses on Mike instead of focusing on, you know, Marcus's family, even though it's still kind of centered, like, you know what I'm saying, like I said, like his daughter is the theme of the, you know what I'm saying, the movie, it seems like, but we still get, you know, so like we still get a lot of Mike in this movie to where, you know what I'm saying, we see that he got a son, or at the time when we watching it, we don't know if he got a son yet or not until the end, but you know what I'm saying, we learned that he got a son. He had, you know what I'm saying, like this love, you know what I'm saying, this love relationship with this lady, you know what I'm saying, we find out that this motherfucker was undercover, you know what I'm saying, like he was special ops, and then, you know what I'm saying, we learn why he is who he is, so that's really just, you know what I'm saying, what I liked about it, the dynamics that they brought around in the end and kind of, you know what I'm saying, like wrapped it up to make it, you know what I'm saying, good. And I mean, the action scenes was good in this one, you know what I'm saying, like it wasn't, to me, I feel like the action in all of them was good. Another thing I forgot to mention though was that second one. One of the funny scenes in that shit is when they was going to Johnny Tapia house as the exterminators, and the goddamn rats was up there fucking. He said, "Look," he said, "Mike," he said, "the rats is fucking, man." He said, "Look, they fuck just like we did." That shit was funny as fuck, man. So, I mean, just all in all, bro, like it's been a great 14 years. It's been a great 3 movies. Like, you can't go wrong with any of them for real. But I just had a small gripe with that third
one. Okay. I mean, I get it, but like I guess that, you know, for me, I do these things where, like I told you before, and I remember when I did that whole podcast on the first time around when I did my gripe about Halloween, the one that when I did the one where I was like ripping the new one, it was more of, I do this thing where it's like I have like my own ideas of what the movie should be type of thing.
Right.
And
same here.
So when you said that, like, it's a great point because I got that. But while you were saying it, I was saying, well, maybe this could have been a situation where they got split up and they didn't become partners until Mike came back. Or maybe didn't join the force right off the rip. Or it could have been, this is what you also got to understand. They got an age difference.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't graduate together.
Right.
No. They don't have age difference. No, they don't. My bad. Marcus just seemed older because he had 4 damn kids. And Mike had none.
Yeah, he had a whole family and shit. Right?
More like an older person because he had to mature faster because he had kids. Never mind. But man, I will say this, man. I got an idea. I already know how yours is gonna be. Yours ain't even gonna be no surprise, man. I already know how you already done said it. But for me, my rating is I am going Bad Boys for my number 1 spot. I'm going Bad Boys for Life for my number 2 and Bad Boys 2 for my 3rd spot, man.
Whoa. Okay.
I already know
I'm going Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 1, and then Bad Boys 3.
Oh yeah. I knew that. Like I could tell by the bottom. I was like, I could tell. It's like I say, all 3 of them are classes. All 3 of them are great. I don't really have any gripes. Like the people that they was like, all of the side characters was good. Like I said, the only gripe about these films is I wish that they would at least, I mean, just Marcus, just mention your other 3 kids. Like, I mean, you mention them. It's like they just completely wrote them out the script. I mean, they could at least said something like, "Yo, my one son lives in Texas," and, you know,
something like that. Yeah, like just a mention of it.
Yeah, like just to leave them out completely out the way that they did. I felt that that's one thing that I have a problem with. But and then, like I say, like we don't hear now. They mention Sid in the 3rd one, but you know what I'm saying. But it was just
that was like early on though.
Yeah, it was real early, but it mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? Like with the rest of his kids, like they don't even mention this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that's my biggest gripe about the whole thing. But like, does it ruin it? Nah, it doesn't ruin it. That's just somebody that's just hugely invested, and I just feel like they can at least mention them. So it's not anything that actually like destroyed the movie, because I don't think it destroyed it. But I think what it does do, because I really like the dude that played Mike's son, so it's gonna be interesting. Now, when you look at the IMDb page, it says, I think it says 2021, if I'm not mistaken, or 2000.
It's a spinoff for his son.
So I don't know if it's going to be a spinoff. I think that Mike and I keep calling them by the character's name. I think Mike and Marcus are going to be in it. But I think it's going to be is that they're going to put Mike's son undercover.
Okay.
And I think that he is going to be checked. I think that they're going to be too old to do the type of things that need to be done with this type of work that they're doing to his son is going to do it. So I think that they're going to be more of hanging back. But like you said, maybe you said it best. I think it would be focused on him because he will be the one that's undercover. He will be the one doing everything. I think he would speak in with Mike and Marcus, but I think that it's going to be more centered around him. And then I think that somehow we're going to get someone added into this thing to where he's going to end up being a partner. Because I will say this, on the third one, now I'm not sure about the second one. I only know the third one. Will Smith is an executive producer on the third one.
Oh, okay.
This could be a situation where they could keep this bad boy things going, but just pass it along to this kid, and then he gets a partner somehow. Hey, maybe one of Marcus's kids come back and he end up being his partner. Some shit we don't know.
I'm not going. No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. If they do that, I'm damn sure not going to see it. We ain't seen these niggas in the whole goddamn movie. We ain't heard nothing about him. Then all of a sudden, this nigga come back and he fresh off the forest. Hell no, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm down to not that whole idea. No, I can't ride with that one, bro. Fuck that. That shouldn't be trash. That shouldn't be trash, bro. Nah, man. You ain't heard from these niggas in goddamn 7 years, and all of a sudden this nigga just pop out the forest. Like if they did that, they should have mentioned it in the third movie at least. Like, come on, man, give us something. But nah, I ain't rolling with that one.
Nah, I feel you. But like, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what this one is gonna carry, because I think that Will is probably gonna have a huge hand in it. I don't know if he really writes scripts. I'm pretty sure his opinion is gonna be taken in this one. Hell, I mean, Martin might even, get involved, because I mean, I know he feels like I know Martin's probably looking at like, yo, this whole bad boy thing wouldn't even be happening without me. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna make a girl his partner.
I mean, it could, but like I said, they was able to get a spinoff of it. I think it's called LA Finest, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I think that's what it's called. But that'd be real interesting, man. Real interesting. But like, hey, I will say this. Hey, Scoots, I've been waiting on this for a long time, man. Long time. Because we have been arguing about a person because we differ on opinions. And we finally get this shit on wax on the next episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's a lot of different cards being played in this one.
There is that, like, because I'm sitting here trying to think, like, it's gonna be, because I'm gonna want to go throughout time, because we're finally doing another documentary for the people that listen to this podcast religiously. Like, we appreciate y'all, but for some odd reason, the one episode that caught fire was the last documentary that we did. Well, we only done one, and it caught fire. So I feel like we got a lot of pressure going in on this one.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of factual stuff that has to be said. And my thing is that there is something that we're different on. And my whole objective when we get to that point of that podcast is to look, dude, I know you was captain of the debate team and all of that. All I'm saying is, man, I think I got convincing arguments to try to flip you to my side. So we're
gonna see, man. We're gonna see.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be really fun.
I am pretty secure in my stance on this. This is one of those things where, we were both alive when this situation happened. I'm sure we both seen countless documentaries and news updates and all this about it. This was one of the biggest moments in history, or at least American history. And man, I can't wait to get this one done, man. Friday is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, man, most definitely. Like, this is the one that we're doing is in my top 3 of documentaries of all time. Like,
okay.
Huge documentary guy. This is like the best one, and it's the guy himself is a dickhead. He's a clown.
Nah, man, he is amazing.
No, we're gonna talk about it. I think he is.
Have you seen him on Twitter, bro?
Yo, I was about to say something that would have gave it away, but
I know, but he is amazing on Twitter, bro. Like the shit that he chooses to comment on, I'll be like, man, shut your ass up. Yeah, he is amazing, bro. He is comedy. He is I consider him like the Black Donald Trump.
That is a great fucking great comparison.
For real.
Like this one is gonna be fun, man, because I've been like, this is something that had America divided.
Oh, by the nuts, man.
But like, this was one of the first time where it was like, when you really started, it got to the point where like one set of people felt this way and another set of people felt another.
This was like one of the, I think
it was a tip of a lot of shit.
No, not even that though. Like this was like the first celebrity trial though. Like when you really think about it.
And it got a lot of people famous who don't supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying. So it's you 100% right about that. You are 100% right about that. So y'all tune in Friday, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good one. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk our shit on this one. We're gonna have some fun. Man, we're gonna laugh a lot on this one. I guarantee you we're gonna laugh a lot on this one. And you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be one of those ones that, you know what I'm saying, you can enjoy. I would really love to see the feedback on this one because, you know, like you said, we got opposing views on this one. But yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. Friday is the one. But you know what I'm saying, we come to the end. You guys can check me out at Scoots Bronson on Twitter. Make sure to follow that VA Pod Watch group. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
I mean, I feel you, man. I'm just gonna ramble through it, man. Stolen Time Podcast page on Facebook, man. The Stolen Time Pod on Instagram. S.Foster8 on Instagram and Twitter. Please go check out 28 Minutes or Less podcast. Like we mentioned earlier, Scoots was on that last episode with me. We talked. I only said what we did, man. We did the versus battle.
We did versus with Gucci and Jeezy. Yup.
Yeah, so if people interested in that, man, go check out that episode. I feel a little bad because I had the music a little too loud, and I felt like you was a little low. That's kind of my fault. But you can still hear what you're saying. Great episode.
Yeah.
And last thing but not least, you know, check out the VA Podcast Watch Group page, man.
Yep.
That's where all the links are to everything. We're really trying to build that page up. We probably need to also get an Instagram and all that type shit to try to, you know, get a different audience there as well. So, man, just go support us, man. Give us some more ratings and more views as well. Not views, but ratings, and subscribe.
Yep. Definitely subscribe, man. If it's your first time listening to it, thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you leave a rating and a comment on the, especially if you listen in the Apple, we will definitely make sure that we read it live and on air. The last person we had, let me make sure I'm not missing one, but I think the last person we had was Art Grown, and he left us a 5-star rating, which was super dope. You know what I'm saying? It felt good to get that. And then, you know what I'm saying? We read his comment on there. Let me see if we got any new ones.
Nah, probably just my dumb ass. I just wanted to give us a rating.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's cool. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got one. S. Foster love doing this podcast. Art Grown was there as well. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? When y'all leave them, we're gonna read them. You know what I'm saying? So you love. I don't care if it's 1 star. I don't care if it's 5 stars. We definitely gonna read it. The feedback is necessary. And shit, you know what I'm saying? Just once again, man, thank y'all for listening and tuning in. Yeah, man, like they say in Hollywood, bro, that's a wrap.
Cut.